All right, here we are in the front of my new Bass Cat Puma STS, brand new. I'm gonna walk you through why I put everything on the boat that I did. I've gotten a lot of comments on the last couple videos that I've posted about this boat because it's a brand new boat. Why did you do this, John? Why did you do that? Why did you do this? Why'd you put that there? How'd you do your front graph mounts? Blah, blah, blah. That's what we're doing here, and that's what I want to show you. So we're gonna start right up here in the front. I'll get you to come right on up here, and I want to show exactly what we have. I have the Ghost on the front. That is a change from last year. Last year I had the Ultrex. The Ultrex is a very good, very dependable trolling motor. I like that. The Ghost is a very good, very strong mount and everything trolling motor. To me, it's a little like a preference thing between the two. If you have more Humminbird products, get the Ultrex. If you have more Lowrance products or you're really not locked in, I really like the Ghost. But the Ghost is brushless. That was a big deal for me. It's nice you can go between 24 and 36 volts. So the Ghost is really cool for that. And if you have Lowrance, there's a lot of compatibility between your Lowrance units and the Ghost. And that's one of the reasons I went back to the Ghost. I've had both, the Ghost and the Ultrex. And so that's why I went back to the Ghost. I like the Ghost for the brushless technology. I feel like there's a little bit less maybe interference with some of your electronics. You're always going to get some interference. I've done some other things to try to minimize that with the ferrite rings and all that kind of, or whatever you call them. That's what I call them. All that stuff. But up here on the front, it's essentially the same. These are the same units that I had last year. I've got the Garmin EchoMap 102, and this is my setup over here. It's got the black emerald, and that's for my live scope. Got the 360 with the Humminbird up here. I've got the 4-Trex mount on the Ghost. That's what you have to use. You don't use the Ultrex mount, you use the 4-Trex mount. They're a little bit easier to find right now, but still hard to find. But that 360 is dialed, man. I have just turned it on and it is crystal clear. I haven't even really played with it to try to dial it in, and it is a crystal clear picture. So I think part of that has to do with the Ghost being brushless, and maybe I just got a good one, I don't know. And then here's my Lowrance HDS Live. I've got this up here on the front. I use this, I'm gonna be using that for the 2D sonar that's built into the Ghost. Very easily to be compatible. You have to have an adapter now. It takes an adapter from the Ghost to go to that with that built-in transducer, but I really like that. You can also use the down scan. I'll show you that. If you wanted to look, you can see the down scan. I can use that in any of the menus there. That's the down scan transducer coming that's in the head of that trolling motor. You can see there's zero interference there, zero interference there, and just a slight bit of interference with the live scope. And as the live scope's, kind of live looking around. Got my hydro wave over here. I don't have it currently turned on, but it works fine. And then I've got my 2 power pole buttons right here. Bass Cat puts those there just for those buttons. And then this right here is the power button for if you wanted to be able to turn your live scope on and off. You can do that here with this switch. But what I did is this is the lightning detector, and I put the lightning detector on this switch on and off. So that's what that looks like. And then I took out my, just to kind of back up a step, I took out the little insert that was here, slid my trolling motor pedal back so that I could put my Lowrance unit here, and then I've got a mini Kong unit here so that I can have those 2 units, and actually all 3 units in there, and I really don't have to have any kind of crazy brackets. That little mini Kong is the only thing that I'm using, and it's real easy to just unscrew that and take it off if I wanted to be able to take it off. These 2 are hard mounted right again. I put rubber washers under there, so those are, and I do that with all of my units that I flush mount onto the fiberglass. Works great. Had real good success with that. But as you go back, you can see I always like the rubber bumpers. That's my preference for fishing tournaments. I always put one on this side. The base is always on the fiberglass side, and then I always put these here. And if you look inside of the rod locker, make sure you don't put your screws through this, or your seal. Make sure it's on the inside open part of that compartment. Those are the new latches. I'm still getting used to those. They're very sturdy and very strong. I like them. So far, I like them. It's just going to take a little bit of getting used to, but I like those. I like those a lot. And the reason I put them on the outside of the door is that when I open the rod lockers to be able to get into the boxes, I don't have to move my rods around. You know, if you have them over here, all your rods are going to totally shift that way, and it's a mess. I've done it. Don't like it. I like it this way. I've done it for years. And so that's how we'll kind of go through the back of the boat. Don't mind all the miles of stuff here. We're shooting some videos out here. All the miles of stuff out here. He's got his fancy camera and whatnots and his fancy Pelican box. But if you come back here to the console, you can see the rest of my setup. I got 2 balls out mounts right here for my Humminbird Helix and for my Lowrance 12. They're very solid. I'll tell you one tip though, if you do the balls out mount, you better get you the Bass Boat Technologies. Russell Marine Products makes one as well, but I went with the Bass Boat Technologies mount, the replacement. It's super thick. It does not vibrate when you're running down the lake. If you use the standard Lowrance one, it's going to vibrate a little bit. It's not going to be as good. You don't need to get that for the Humminbird. The Humminbird one holds up just fine, but for whatever reason, the design of the Lowrance one, it makes it shimmy a little bit running down the lake. Now the bracket is solid as a rock. It's just the vibration comes through the sides of this thing. And that's just a little tip for you if you're looking at mounting yours like that as well. I highly recommend that. I love this system. Everything is very solid, very compact. It's you know, inside. If I want to take this whole graph off, I can. Easy enough to do that. And then we've got the new reflex flooring. Very nice. The cooler is huge. We've got some drinks in there. I'm not going to go completely into that because that's really not the setup. That's just more of like preference. But I will show you in the back, on my back setup, I've got the 2 power pole, got the Atlas jack plate, the 2 power poles built in, built onto that. Those are the blades. Love those, no problems. The pumps are right under here, which most people have seen at this point, but in the back here, I've got the power pull charge right there. I've got my 112 volt battery. Yes, 112 volt for 5 graphs, but that is a 215 amp lithium cranking battery. It has a computer program in it. Before you can even ask, don't even ask. It does not void this warranty, I promise you. The people from Lithium Pros have worked with the people at Mercury. There is no problems there. Other lithium batteries very well could void this warranty. They do not have the same computer management system that the Lithium Pros cranking battery, starting battery has in it. It prevents the pulse on start, which is the problem with the other lithium batteries. You get a pulse when you go to start the motor, and that pulse can damage the electronics in this engine. But this battery does not do that. I have used Lithium Pros for about 10 years, and I've never had a problem because they've always had that computer management system in there. And yes, that one battery is going to be fine. Because of that power pole charge, it manages all of the power between this battery and the battery on this other side, which is the one single 36 volt battery that I'm going to run. It is a 65 amp per bank, so 195 amps total in this battery right here. That is a total beast. Put that in conjunction with the power pole charge and that other monster 12 volt battery. That is all the power that you need in any bass boat, pretty much any bass boat setup, and that's what I'm running this year right here. So I've got those in TH Marine trays. They are in there solid as a rock, no problems at all. And as you can see, like in most Bass Cats, all your pumps are just like super easily accessible. You don't have to take anything out in order to do that. I absolutely love that part about a Bass Cat. So that's pretty much all of the things that I added to the boat. I've got both side image transducers. I've got the 3-in-1 and the Humminbird. One is on the jack plate and one is on the step portion that is the integrated setback under this part right here. So I don't have them side by side. I think you might get a little bit of interference that way. Last year I did it the same way, and both of my my units are crystal clear because I've offset them, and they're not fanning and scanning the same thing, so they're not going to be really much interference. So that is my setup for this year on my 2022 Bass Cat Puma STS.